This video is for Knowledge Organiser 4 for Year 10 higher classes. What I would like you to do is read the Knowledge Organiser with me, watch this video and work through the examples on page 1 of your Knowledge Organiser. Try the questions from page 2 of the Knowledge Organiser and complete any work set on Maths Watch from your maths teacher. Now this is the first unit of work on our algebra topic. For today's lesson and tomorrow's lesson, what you're going to be asked to do is to rearrange the subject of a formula. When you rearrange the subject of the formula, if you can see in this question here, it asks you to make x the subject. What we want to do is rearrange this so instead of saying y equals, it says x equals. To do this, we use our rules that we would use when we were solving an equation. So if we have a look at this problem here, we've got y equals 4 plus bx. What I'd do is I'd solve this as if there was a numerical value here. So if I was doing that, the first thing I would do is I would try and move the 4 from this side. So I would do the inverse operation for each step as I do that. So this is positive 4, so what I would do is I would take away 4 from both sides. Now, I don't know what this value here is on the left-hand side. When I take 4 off both sides, because I don't know what y take away 4 would be, I just write that as y take away 4. When I take 4 off this side, that cancels out, so I get left with bx. I then want to move the b from this side so x is on its own. Now this is the same as saying b times x or x times b, because multiplication is commutative. That means it doesn't matter which order it's done in. So what we do is, because it's times by b, we do the inverse, which means the opposite operation, so we divide by b. That leaves me x on its own here. What I then do is, a divide is the same as a fraction. So if we have a look at this, I've got y minus 4, and then I put the whole thing over b. Common misconception is y minus 4 divided by b is what some people would write. If you were to write that, what happens is, because of the order of operations from BIDMAS, you're doing 4 divided by b and then subtracting it from y. So the y isn't being divided by b. You would have to put brackets around that. Now that can be quite difficult to remember, so what we do is we write it as a fraction because it's easier to kind of write, and to be honest, that's the way that you'll see this type of problem most commonly, so that'll be the way it's written. What we would then do is, just to finish this off, we write it the other way around as y minus 4 all over b. It doesn't matter which way around you write these, because this is an equal sign, but often in an answer line of an exam question you get x equals, so you need to know that you can rewrite that the other way around. The other question that I'm going to go through and do with you now is this one here. Now, what's different of this one is, as I mentioned before, often you have your question written like this, where you have a fraction in it. Now, we're going to make y the subject, which means that we want to put y on its own. What we also want when we're doing this is we need y to be a positive value, and it's important noticing that this is minus y. I'll get to this in a minute. So what I do is I write out my question. W equals 1 minus y all over 2. Now I mentioned earlier that a divide and a fraction are the same thing. So if I wanted to get rid of this fraction, I do the inverse operation, which is multiplying both sides by 2. When I do that, I get 2w. And that equals, now a common mistake that would be made is we would times the top numbers or the top terms by 2, but we don't. By multiplying this by 2, we've got half of an amount, we've now got the full amount. So if you imagine you've got half a pizza, you've now got the full pizza. Pizza doesn't change, so it just stays as 1 minus y. What I then do is I rearrange this. Now I need a positive value here, okay? So I move y to the other side, so I get 2w plus y equals 1. Then I move my w by subtracting it, because again, it's the inverse operation. So I get y equals 1 minus 2w. Notice, this is a take away y, so I've done the inverse operation and added it. It cancels out from this side and is added to this side. I need to have y on its own on this side, so I subtract by 2w, and the 2w on this side cancels out, and I get 1 minus 2w on that. That gives me my final answer. What I would like you to do is use these examples to complete the second page of your Knowledge Organiser and any Maths Watch work set by your maths teacher. Thank you.